Folks in their living room right now watching this show, they want to know who's going to win each BCS conference, who's going to be the BCS Buster, who's going to play in the national championship game, who's going to win the national championship game, and who's going to win the Heisman Trophy. We're here to tell you right now. BJ, get it started.
Let's get it started. All right, ACC. I think hands down Clemson wins the ACC. It's about time. They haven't won a conference championship in a long while. Missouri, this is a big shocker. Missouri will win the Big 12, the Big East. I like Pitt and what Dave Wannstedt is doing there. And in the Big 10, Ohio State. Yes, once again, Ohio State. Pac-10, USC, of course. SEC, LSU, BCS Bowl Buster, Fresno State. Pat Hill will play anybody, anywhere, any time of the day. I love what he does there, and he's got a lot of talent coming back. BCS championship game, it's going to be a repeat and a rematch. What? Ohio State versus LSU. National champion, Ohio State.
LSU.
Heisman, Beanie Wells.
All right, Trev, makes sense.
Who won the picks last year?
I'm
sorry, let me go back to it. In the ACC, I agree with BJ. I think the Clemson Tigers going to win the ACC. The Big 12, Oklahoma, the schedule sets up nicely for them. The Big East, South Florida. Everybody is overlooking South Florida. They're going to win the Big East. In the Big 10, the Badgers of Wisconsin. That's right. They beat Ohio State at home. They win the Big 10 with a tiebreaker. In the Pac-10, USC. That's right. They're the best team in the U.S. in the Pac-10, so, of course, the Trojans win there. The SEC, the Georgia Bulldogs. They will not be undefeated, but they will go ahead and win the Southeastern Conference. The BCS Bowl Buster is BYU. The Cougars are legitimate. I think they're actually going to be in a BCS game. They'll go undefeated. 2 Pac-10 opponents in the preseason. That helps them get there. The BCS championship game, Oklahoma will be undefeated. Georgia will not, but Georgia will beat Oklahoma and become national champion. Until somebody knocks off Tim Tebow, he's flat out the most dynamic and best player in college football. He repeats and wins the Heisman Trophy.
Well, guys, I think we're pretty unanimous on the ACC. I think Clemson does it. They're finally going to get the monkey off their back and win the big game. Going over to the Big 12, Oklahoma, so many weapons, returning starters. Sam Bradford, great year. Look for a better defensive showing out of them. Oklahoma's going to run the Big 12. Into the Big East, West Virginia. Why not? I know they have a new coach. I know they're missing Steve Slayton, but they still have some very good players in Pat White, and they're going to make some noise in the Big East. The Big 10 champion, Ohio State. There's nobody that comes close to them better. They're going to go into Camp Randall. They're going to beat Wisconsin. They have too much talent and too many returning starters and senior leadership to let this one drop. The sweater vests are going to take it. Big 10, USC. They are the best team with the most talent. The Pac-10, excuse me. It's going to take a little bit of time for their offense to get going, to get their quarterback questions, that offensive line gelling, but once they do, watch out. The SEC, Florida. Why? Because they have comparable talent to Georgia, but an easier schedule. BCS Bowl Buster, BYU. They're a very good team. They're on a 10-0. Bronco Mendenhall's got a great team there. They got some offensive weapons. They're going to make some noise. The BCS championship game, Oklahoma, Florida. Yeah, finally, who's going to do it? Stoops finally gets it done. They're going to win the big one. It's been a long time. The person that's going to win the Heisman is Chris Wells, Ohio State. A lot of big games, a lot of good stuff, guys. College football is starting.
I get a turn, too, which is great.
Did you come in
my
last
favorite part of the show.
Last.
Hey, I'm the host. I'm not an expert, but I still get to pick. It's Clemson's year in the ACC. Oh, you poor souls of the Big 12. The Sooners are good. Here's my shocker. I'm with BJ. I'm taking Pitt in the Big East.
About time.
The Badgers will upset Ohio State at home and take the Big 10. I will not spend more than 5 seconds on the Pac-10. USC 2-1. Move on. Now, there's a way to go for the Gators, okay? But I think that losing to Georgia the way they did last year, all the bulletin board material the Dogs gave them in that game, Florida's going to stomp them. Stomp them. Only 3 starters back for BYU's defense. Come on, give me Utah for the BCS Buster. Quarterback Brian Johnson, the Utes will crack the code. Every SEC team will have at least 1 loss, while Oklahoma and Clemson will be like Aaron Taylor's college career. Perfect! Sooners beat the Tigers 37-21, capping off a Heisman-caliber sophomore season for Sam Bradford. Another sophomore will win the Heisman Trophy.